6. I'm Melanie Schickler. We have all the championship coverage on today's show: French Open, Women's College World Series, Stanley Cup, NBA Finals. But before we get to that, I just need to say, yes, Game 6 of the Stanley Cup is tonight. Game 5 of the NBA Finals tomorrow night. We obviously can't cover both of those in today's show. So, in the event that St. Louis wins the Stanley Cup tonight, there will be a special coverage episode of that tomorrow. Same thing goes for Monday night. If the Raptors win the NBA Finals tomorrow night, there will be a special episode Tuesday. I will reiterate that at the end of the episode again. For pick number 6, the NBA offseason is heating up before we even get to the offseason. The Brooklyn Nets made a huge trade this week, so now they have enough space for big free agents and to maybe build a superstar team. They traded Allen Crabbe and 2 draft picks to the Atlanta Hawks, so now they have enough space for 2 free agents. And by 2 free agents, I'm not going to beat around the bush. That's Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, who has already expressed interest in the Brooklyn Nets. So the Nets are now competing with the New York Knicks, who have planned all along to sign big free agents, and everyone's known that. So now this just makes things even more interesting heading into the offseason. Speaking of basketball, pick number 5 is the antics that took place in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Warriors part owner Mark Stevens deliberately shoved Kyle Lowry following a play that caused Lowry to dive into the crowd in an attempt to prevent the ball from going out of bounds. He fell atop Warriors fans sitting courtside, and Stevens was a few seats away. He didn't even get injured, and felt the need to push Lowry and curse at him as well. After an immediate ban for the rest of the NBA Finals, the NBA reconsidered his punishment. They fined him $500,000 and gave him a 1-year ban from all NBA games. That's an inappropriate action for anyone, but for a Warriors part owner to do that, that does not make the organization look good. On to pick number 4. The UCLA Bruins are your Women's College World Series champions. They put up an unbelievable fight. They had such a strong offensive game, and they even won the first game 16-3. After going up 1-0 in the series, the second game was truly a nail-biter. The Sooners overcame a 3-0 deficit and then a 4-3 deficit later in the game when Shea Knighton hit a solo home run. But in the bottom of the 7th, with the winning run on second, UCLA second baseman Kinsley Washington hit a single to opposite field, allowing Jackie Prober to score. Here's the highlight one more time. You just have to hear the call on the walk-off.
A little flare, and that will get down in front of a view. Prober to the plate to throw, and she's safe! And UCLA makes it an even dozen. And they are back on top with a 12th national championship.
Pick number 3 are the French Open champions Rafael Nadal and Ashley Barty. Rafael Nadal defeated number 4 Austrian Dominic Thiem earlier today, 6-3, 5-7, 6-1, 6-1. Thiem put up a good fight throughout the first 2 sets, but Rafa just completely dominated him afterwards. In the third set, Nadal won the first 10 points and cruised to an easy 6-1 win for the last 2 sets. Nadal has now won 12 major titles at the French Open. That's now the most singles titles at a major ever. The previous record was 11. He has now surpassed that and has much more to come. In total, he has 18 major wins, and that's just 2 behind Roger Federer, who currently holds the record at 20. On to the women's champion. This is Ashley Barty's first Grand Slam singles title. She defeated unseeded 19-year-old Marketa Vondrousova from the Czech Republic 6-1, 6-3, and played almost flawlessly. I'm glad to have seen 2 young women in the final because these are definitely rising stars. Pick number 2 is the Stanley Cup final. This series has been amazing so far. The Blues are now up 3-2, and Game 6 is tonight in St. Louis. The Blues have a chance to raise the cup for the first time in franchise history. In Game 5, Ryan O'Reilly opened the scoring within the first minute of the second period with his 3rd goal in just 3 games. Then comes our big storyline from this game, the missed tripping call. I just don't understand how this isn't a trip. Bozak comes in behind Noel Acciari and takes out Acciari with his right leg and his stick. How do you miss this trip when Acciari tumbles to the ice with his legs flailing in the air and his head hitting the ice? The worst part about this is that the Blues then scored on this play, making it a 2-0 game. Had the refs called a penalty, it would still be 1-0. Later in the third, Jake DeBrusk slapped one past Jordan Binnington, but it was not enough, and the Blues held on for the win. Who knows what would have happened if this game was only a 1-0 game when Jake DeBrusk tied it and making it 1-1 had the refs made the right call, and it would not have been 2-0. I don't know how head coach Bruce Cassidy kept his cool and did not flip out, because I feel like flipping out, and I just don't understand. Game 6 tonight on NBC at 8 Eastern. Pick number 1, NBA Finals. I'm shocked that the Warriors are down 3-1. Teams that go up 3-1 are 33-1 in the playoffs. The only team to have lost after that are the Warriors in 2016 to the Cavaliers. So the Warriors know that 3-1 doesn't mean anything. But can they fight back to win 4-3 in Game 7? Who knows? They have to play better than they did in Game 4, I can tell you that. Steph and Clay put up their numbers, but had little help from the rest of the team. How about Kawhi and Ibaka? Kawhi had 36 points and went 5 for 9 on threes and led the game with a plus 13. Not to mention, he got up on those boards with 12 rebounds, and 11 of those were defensive rebounds. That's contributing on both ends of the court. Now to Serge Ibaka. He had 18 points throughout the first 3 games combined, and he dropped 20 in Game 4. That was a huge difference maker. He only played 22 minutes, too. Good for him. Game 5 in Toronto tomorrow night, 9 Eastern. Don't miss it. Again, extra coverage of the Stanley Cup if the Blues win it tonight, and extra coverage Tuesday of the NBA Finals if the Raptors win it tomorrow night. Regardless, we'll see you next week on episode 11. Thanks for tuning in to Schick Pick 6.